Hey, hi everyone. Edwin here again. In this episode, actually, I'll be running through with you the Antares project once again for two bedroom. So, in the previous episode, actually, I have mentioned that for two bedroom, I'll actually separate them out into the lower, the in the two blocks that are the lower floors, and the next episode actually I'll be doing the two bedrooms that are in the tower blocks. Okay, so for here we can see that actually I've circled out all those two bedroom stacks, 3, 7, 1, 14, 13, 9, 10. Okay, so without any further information as of now, just by looking at this site plan itself, you can actually already tell that for stack 7 and 9 will be the more preferred one. Why do I say that? Simply because they are facing towards the pool. If you ask me once again, what's the choice that you have between facing main road, facing west sun, or facing the pool? The obvious choice will be face the pool, because the rest of the factors will really adversely affect your ability to rent out the unit or your ability to actually sell off the unit in future. Okay, later on when I'm actually running through the floor plan, I would actually recommend that you download the floor plan itself, and as you listen to me, you actually blow up the site plan and the floor plan itself, and then from there you actually make your judgment, because actually the floor plan you have to do a lot of rotation, and kind of like I would say it's sort of like an imagination that you need to rotate the floor plan to fit into the site plan so that you know exactly which side of the house is facing where. Okay, so if you are unable to follow, I strongly recommend that you go to our website to actually download the floor plan, or if you already have the brochure or the floor plan, you can actually do so. Okay, so without further ado, I'll actually run into the two bedroom floor plans. Okay, so the first two sets that I'll be going through the one on the left first. So you can see here that they are actually stacked 3 and 13. Okay, so take note that for all units, in terms of the low floor ones, actually the first and the fifth floor are the ones that actually have the high ceiling void. You can see from here, actually they have stated very clearly that the first floor unit, they actually have the void and the personal enclosed space. Okay, and here for the fifth floor, the highest one is also, again, you have the void, which is the high ceiling. Okay, so for this stack 3 and 13, okay, they actually put here that stack 3 is the mirror image of 13, but don't worry about that. You just need to follow what I'm saying, and you just orientate yourself accordingly. Okay, if you do blow up this portion here, you will actually see that, or rather you can immediately tell that this floor plan, as it is, it doesn't really make sense, because your lift, this is your entrance, so your lift is actually here. Your lift cannot be outside of the block. It is not logical. It doesn't even make sense at all. So what you have to do is actually, for this, in order to fit nicely, for you to get an idea of what is facing where, you have to rotate this floor plan 90 degrees, once again 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay, so much so that, so what will mean is that this west side facing, for stack 13, will actually be here. So your balcony, your PS, your balcony, and your bedroom too will actually be getting the west sun, the full on west sun from here. So what you have to do is, once again, you have to rotate this thing 90-degree counterclockwise for this floor plan to make sense to you. So having said that, same thing for stack 3. After you rotate this thing, this floor plan counterclockwise 90 degrees, you actually have to flip it 180 degrees upwards, because it's a mirror image for you to get the stack 13 side. But having said that, if you follow what I've been saying, once you rotate this floor plan counterclockwise 90 degrees, it doesn't matter whether you flip it upwards or downwards, because this side is actually the same. So this side for stack 13 and stack 3, right, your balcony and your bedroom 2 will be getting the full on west sun. So this is something that you have to take note and you have to bear in mind. So this is very important. Another thing that you have to take note is I will not be mentioning the difference in terms of sizes in here, because the developer has actually made almost all 2 bedroom in different sizes. You can actually get the sizes from the brochure itself. Okay, and for this stack 10, okay, stack 10, once again, if you do look at this stack 10, you will realize that it doesn't make sense if you were to take this floor plan just as it is and you don't do any rotation or adjustment to it, right? It doesn't make any sense that this is your common corridor where your lift is, right? It can't be opening into your balcony and your bedroom too. It doesn't make sense at all. So this thing you actually have to rotate. Once again, you have to rotate 180 degrees, either clockwise or counterclockwise, doesn't really matter, so that your main entrance will be at the top portion here. Then this floor plan will actually make perfect sense to you. So what do I mean by that is that once you rotate this thing 180 degrees, okay, your balcony and your bedroom 2 will, together with your aircon latch of course, will be facing towards Mata Road itself. And facing towards Mata Road will simply means that you'll be getting quite a fair bit of noise from the public transport from the Mata Road itself to your balcony, of course. Thankfully, your master bedroom is not affected in so much, but because this is a low floor block, I would still say that regardless whether you are staying at 5th floor or 4th floor, you will still be getting noise from the traffic lah. But the saving grace is that your master bedroom will not be facing directly towards Mata Road, but instead it will be facing towards stack 16, which is the 3-bedroom block. Okay, later on when I go to the 3-bedroom, you actually know what I mean by that. Okay, and something here you have to take note for this store layout. To be very frank, I do not really know what they mean by that. So you take it at face value is that store layout applies here, that for the floor 2, 3 and 4, they will have this store layout here, whereas for the 1st and the 5th, they will not be having this store layout lah. So this is something that you have to bear in mind again. Okay, in terms of layout, there's really not too much of a difference. Okay, and I would say that the 2-bedroom in here is pretty standard. Yeah, you are basically just what you see obviously on the floor plan is what you get. So there's nothing very special or unique to mention about in this case. Okay, and for stack 14, the interesting thing here is that I believe there's a reason why the developer has put this stack 14 in this manner and in this particular position, because once again, if you apply a bit of logic here, you will actually realize that you need to rotate this floor plan once again 90 degrees counterclockwise for this main entrance, which is your main door, is to actually fit into this common corridor where the lift is actually located. So having said that, once you rotate this thing 90 degrees counterclockwise, you will realize that the balcony and bedroom 2 once again is getting the full on west sun. Okay, the saving grace for this is that your master bedroom will be actually getting a bit of the pool view. So this is the saving grace. But frankly speaking, if you were to ask me as a layman, especially if I'm a Chinese buyer, Stack 14 is definitely a concern. That's one thing, okay. But the second main thing is the west sun. This is something that personally I cannot accept, and I do believe that most buyers out there will not be able to accept as well in terms of the west sun. This is a big no-no to me personally, okay. Then for stack 1, okay, stack 1 you have to take note that stack 1 is actually linked to block 19 and not 21, because in the site map they actually join stack 14 and 1 together, so you just have to take a closer look to understand this. So once again, it doesn't make sense for your main door to be pointing southwards, which is adjoining to stack 14. It does not make any sense at all. So having said that, you have to rotate this thing 180 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise once again, so that your main door is facing towards the north side. Okay, then you will get a clearer picture of where you are facing. So for stack 1, I wouldn't say is fantastic as well, because the master bedroom once again is facing west sun. So this is once again a big no-no to me. I do not like west sun, so this is a big no-no to me. But once again, the saving grace is that this balcony will be facing towards the pool, which is a plus point in this sense. So if you negate the fact that the west sun is just coming into the master bedroom and you think you are okay with it, so this is something that you might be able to consider for stack 1. So for stack 7 and 9 is what I've mentioned earlier, to me are the better stacks, okay. Having said so very simply, because for stack 7, right, okay, for this main door to fit into the common corridor where the lift is, so you have to rotate this thing clockwise. This time around you have to rotate this stack 7 floor plan clockwise for it to make sense. So this balcony will actually be facing the pool, okay. Once again, the pool will definitely bring a bit of noise, especially over the weekends. But once again, if you ask me, do I want to face the west sun? The answer is no. And do I want to face the road? The answer is no once again. And the next best choice I would have is of course facing pool facing. And the general rule of thumb is that units that are pool facing will generate a higher interest generally, okay. Another thing that you just have to take note is that this bedroom 2 will be facing some common facilities here, and the master bedroom, your window will be actually facing towards the Catholic Church, the Church of St. Stephen. So this is something that you have to bear in mind once again, okay. The rest else, everything else is pretty much standard, and the layout I would say is also pretty much standard and the same, okay. So we have come to stack 9, okay. Thankfully stack 9 you do not have to apply any sort of like Lego imagination to rotate this thing 90 degrees, 180 degrees and whatnot. So thankfully for stack 9 you just have to view it as it is, okay. So having said that, once again, your balcony will be facing towards the pool. Your balcony and your bedroom 2 will be facing towards the pool, okay. And your master bedroom will actually, the windows will actually be facing the next block, which is I believe is stack 17 if I'm not wrong. It should be facing stack 17. This is a slight negative point to me, but well, you just have to decide between whether you want your master bedroom window to be facing towards a Catholic church, or do you want the master bedroom window to be facing somebody else's balcony. Frankly speaking, if you ask me, I would prefer that my master bedroom window is facing towards the church instead rather than facing into somebody else's house. But this is I would say it's a personal preference. You just have to decide on your own okay. So that would be all for me for now, for the 2 bedroom which are all located in the lower blocks, okay. in the next video, actually, I'll be sharing with you the 2 bedrooms that are in the tower blocks, and that will be slightly more interesting because ultimately, I believe most buyers would prefer to be staying on a higher floor than on a low floor. Okay, so until then, I'll see you in the next video. So once again, if you do have any questions, please leave it in the comments, and do visit our website to download the brochure if you need to. So I'll see you in the next video. So thanks for watching.